So we all know the almost a meme at this point where it says, just go to the gym, right? Doesn't matter what you do in there. You just got to get up and go. But what do you do when you get in there, right? You put on your workout clothes, you get your shoes, you go to the gym, but then what? If you're smart, you will find and follow a plan, right? A workout plan. But if you're really smart, what you should do is pick a workout plan based on the goals you have, right? Simple. I would hope everybody does that, but these days, unfortunately, you could fall into the trap of just following something blindly. I think people will finally pick something based on the reasons they have, but the reasons need to be built up, right? You need to figure out what you want out of this whole workout thing. And the best way to get there is to write to yourself, okay? Writing. People these days do not write enough, right? You may think, well, I write text to my friends, I post on social media occasionally, I write a lot of emails, but what about like sitting down and writing, maybe not for fun, but like a paper, writing to someone, a postcard or a letter? Nobody does that when you just text them across the world. And another thing that we have lost is journaling and I guess diary, right? And with those, people may bash on those because they seem kind of corny, but at least with those, you're putting in physical form what is bothering you, what's on your mind. Like you have to reach down, deep down, especially since or if no one else is gonna read it. It's just you kind of letting your life out, right? So that's where you start to figure out what your goals want to be for working out. And for whatever reason, there's the system versus goals thing. I'll talk about that later. But when you do pick your goals, you have to write them down and you combine them with a constraint. Constraint means something that you don't want to do in pursuit of something else. Like, I want to get in shape, but I don't want to lift weight, or I want to lose weight, but I don't want to track my calories at all. Or I want to compete, but I only have 30 minutes every other day, right? Stuff like that. How can you combine these two? Once you find a program, does that mesh with the constraints you have? And if not, guess what you can do? You can actually make your own program. Shocking. It's like, how do you think programs came about in the first place? There had to be a lot of trial and error, but I think most people know what to do most of the time for most goals. But anything quote unquote new is just honestly, I feel like based on the constraints or creativity of the person writing it, right? Like, for example, like I'm an Olympic lifter, but my squats are weak. What do I do? Or I want my squats to go up while also maintaining my Olympic lifts. And then boom, a program comes up out of that. With writing stuff on paper, it forces your creativity. Like the constraints I just talked about, once you put those two together, goal and constraint, you get to see it. Like if you actually write this down, even if it's on your notes app, you get to see it, and then another part of your brain finally gets to take part in creativity, because we all use our brains as like, oh, I'm going to use it as a to-do list, and then 2 hours later you're like, what was I supposed to do? Or like, I have a goal in mind, but I didn't write it down, and I'm not actively looking at it to remember. What was my goal again? Oh, I forgot. Oh, I set a New Year's resolution, and now it's halfway through the year. Hello, we're 8 months into the year, and I've forgotten about it. What do I do? So we are going to help you write more, okay? This is for everybody, and I'm not just talking about people that want to write on the internet, even though that's what I do. But this is a starting point that can help anybody in any point of their lives, even if nobody wants to see it. So when we go through all these little levels, at the beginning, it's putting you in a better mindset. But if you want to do something in life, right, like that goal I was talking about, if it is not a strong enough reason, then it is far too easy to either forget or have all the easy stuff in life wipe it away, okay? Like I said, the people that will say You set systems, not goals. Again, the goal has to come from or the system has to come from somewhere. Okay, like every company, every machine has a purpose. There is a system to that thing which produces an outcome. But this list we're about to go through helps you bring out the reasons, right? Because they're probably in there already, which is the reason why you write the goal down. But it needs to be, all the reasons need to come up so you can see it and it can kind of further get into your emotions. Okay. But anyway, level 1 is gratitude. And this is going to be one of those, like I said, how journaling and diarying, writing in a diary is cheesy. We also kind of throw gratitude out the water, right? I hate to say it, but people are just not grateful to God for everything, or you just don't spend enough time happy about what you have already. You think that you need this gratitude journal, you need to sit on your porch and make an Instagram reel about it. But this needs to be something, and I'm not the best at this, but this needs to be something that's kind of a constant in your life, because if you're ambitious, it's far too easy to forget what you've done and always strive for more. Like, I think anybody that's in the iron game, the weightlifting game, you benched 315 the first time, 225, and then what? And then you're like, oh, all right, that's enough of that. Time to go to 315, and you've forgotten that you've made it as far as you have. So, always be grateful for where you've come from, but that doesn't mean you get to completely relax. I think gratitude is helping you be content most of the time. And then goal setting and all that is for the intensity when it's time to go put the work in. Because if you just sat around only thinking about the intensity, you actually sitting around and not doing anything is going to drive you insane, because you're not working towards your goals. And you're like, oh, but I'm not doing anything. This leisure time is not worth it. So slow down, write down, I don't know, one thing I heard was 10 things you're grateful for. And if you write them down, write why. That's going to be tough for a lot of people, because you just don't sit around and think about that. But the more often you do that, especially if you're writing people down, it makes you think about that person better. Okay. It's a bonus if you want to text that person why you're grateful for them. It's going to make their day. It's going to make you feel better, and it's free. So gratitude is one. Next step, now we're getting into the nitty gritty, is what do you fear, or you're concerned about, or you're worried about? Like I said, all the stuff, and this is almost like a to-do list, but this is in your brain already. But you're just, unless you write it down, it's just so easy to sweep under the rug. But once you put it down, there, it's going to make you feel uncomfortable and good. And it's just, don't judge yourself with what you're bothered about, because this is the start of progress here, right? Nothing else is going to happen unless you spit out what is bothering you. And as I guess I didn't write this down, but as a side note, Danco has coined the term anti-vision, right? Because it's far too easy to be like, I want a Lamborghini, I want a brand new house. And those, I don't know, those are, people put those up on vision boards, but I'm just like, okay, if you want to start small, what's bothering you right now, right? Like, maybe you're just like, man, I've always been weak and never benched 225, right? Or my bench is only, I'm just using bench right now because that's what I'm good at right now. Or even like, I don't know, my squat's always been weak, or it's something like that. Because that kind of lays out closer goals, right? Like, if you say, my bench, I've never hit 225, you just say, where are you now? Okay, I don't like that. I'm only at 135, 185. And you set your goals to be more than that. Okay, you don't have to jump to, I want to bench 500 pounds. You say where you are now, because that will be the breadcrumbs to whatever bigger goal you have. All right, so that's it. And then the other thing with the big goal is that it's not tangible yet, right? Like, you have to do a lot of visualization constantly in order to kind of see a big goal, but your negative state now is like right in front of you. So just put in the steps to get out of there first, and that leads you to the big goal, right? So gratitude first, fears and worries second. Number 3 is your actual goals. I don't like doing like too far out of goal, especially because you don't know what you're gonna have for lunch next Wednesday. So uh, I would recommend 6 months, 6 to 12 months, and of course each of those can get broken down. I'm actually kind of doing this now with some of my lifts, and what I recommend. It doesn't matter where in the year you are, because you could do, here's my year goal, shrink it down. Okay, based on that, what's my quarterly goal and then monthly goal? From there, it's, I guess, kind of weekly you could, but as far as the big goals are concerned, just do like 1 to 3. And I hate to say it, and I hate to burst everyone's multiple interest productivity bubble, but the fewer goals you have, the faster you'll get to them. Okay, and it's painful to hear, but you only have so much energy. I don't know how much, what your schedule's like, but you really only have so much energy. So if you spread yourself too thin, you're not going to get anywhere super fast. But if you do one goal at a time, just know that it'll be easier to switch over to the next, right? You get that one faster and then you go to the next one, blah, blah, blah. But 1 to 3 is enough. Number 4 is, now it's time to actually plan something. And I want to say planning and not endless education and research. With the information out there these days, you probably know it's something, right? I would say if you're a grown person, you probably know what you should be doing. Get a little piece of paper and write down, okay, based on number 1, number 2, and 3, what should I be doing? And you write it down. And then you try it the next day or as soon as possible. What are we on? Today's Sunday. So you tried Monday. This planning and action needs to be a back and forth thing. Okay? You're never going to write down a plan once and have it work. And actually, step number 5 is iteration. You are going to mess up, and don't be afraid of messing up, because you need to start in order to find a point where it's not working, in order to find something that will fix that problem. If you actually write down a plan, even if you follow a plan, if you actually write it down and follow it, and you don't hit a snag at any point in time, you're a unicorn, right? But the iteration, the plan should change when the plan is the problem. Okay, and by that I mean, as a good example in Starting Strength, Mark Rippetoe has this article called "The First 3 Questions," where unless you're doing everything outside of the gym properly, okay, I forget what it all is, but it's like, are you making proper weight jumps? What is it? Are you recovering enough? And I forget the third one. Sorry, Rip. But what is it? Oh, it's like waiting. How much rest are you allowing yourself? But unless you're doing all those things, you're going to be eating candy, getting 4 hours of sleep, and trying the program, it's not working. And then you say, oh, the program's a problem. And then you go on the internet, find something fancier. Don't do that. You got to do all the boring stuff. So it's like, iterate on the program if you need to, but also make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. So step number 6 is review. And this is something that I honestly have more recently done, because we always think go, go, go. And it's hard to remember to be honest with yourself, really, and make sure you're on track, okay? The review process means, based on your goals and your timelines, remember how I said like quarterly and monthly? Are you on track to get there? And I actually haven't really gone into detail on this, but I wrote down my lifting goals way back in January. I think I did, but then I broke it down by quarter and then each month. But then, so then what makes sense, and I have it on my phone, but I also write it on my whiteboard so that the month updates and the quarter updates. So what that forces me to do is kind of look at it and be like, am I on the right track to actually get these? Because if not, something has to course correct. And or, unfortunately, I'm going to have to push the goal back, right? Either I have to really push it to make it within the year, or I have to like be honest with myself and like, okay, well, maybe I got injured. Stuff really wasn't working the way I wanted it to. But the scheduled times It ends up being once a month for me, okay? Maybe sort of each day or each week because I have to write the workouts down. But do you have time in your schedule? I'm just going to say, just go like Sunday mornings, right? Sit down and look at your goals that should be written down somewhere and think, am I on track to get these? Because it's far too easy to get caught up in too many goals or life in general and then just forget about them, okay? So once a week, review where you are. Doesn't have to be anything elaborate, but just sit and look at your stuff. Are you on track based on your whatever goal, deadline, calendar? Number 7 is foreseeing failure. Okay, this kind of goes back to iteration, but I used to I used to follow a program and be like, sweet, there it is for 8 weeks. Here we go. You should ask yourself, if something goes bad, what will I do? If I get a bad night of sleep, am I going to just skip and move it to the next day? Am I going to do a shortened version? Am I only going to do some parts of the workout and skip the rest? Okay, really have to think about what could happen, because Murphy's Law, something will happen, and just be ready for it. Okay, I hate to be, this is not being pessimistic. This is being, I don't know, I guess not optimistic either, but this is just how life comes at you. But I would rather you kind of think of what could happen negatively and be ready for it than think, okay, this is going to be perfect, not be ready, and honestly, this is when people get upset at the program and bail because they were expecting it to be perfect. Don't do that. So after all this, the last step is number 8, which is writing to others. Okay. That seems kind of cheesy, but I believe that if you are doing all this work to better yourself, right, even in the gym, any other area of your life, you don't just do this stuff to get better and then you just kind of sit on the mountaintop and you're like, sweet, I achieved my goal. I'm going to keep it to myself. There are other people out there that want the same goal that you achieve, okay? We're all humans and we basically want the same few things. So, I don't know, it just feels good to help somebody out, and you would be doing other people a disservice by not helping them, but also yourself from that feeling of contributing to other people. Because if we're not going to be here for a long time, I feel like a worthwhile pursuit of life is to help this planet, help the people here while we're here, okay? It's not enough to just get a goal and be like, sweet, see ya, I'm out of here. It's just, help other people out, because I guarantee you when you do that, it'll make you feel good. Like, you can't put a dollar amount on helping somebody, right? And the other thing is like the content world these days, everywhere, newsletters and YouTube, which are 2 things I do. They say, well, you need to write. Dan Coe says, you got to write, got to write, got to write. Unfortunately, people are like, what do I write about? Just like, or people are confused about their niche. My friends, okay, you are starting, if you say, I don't know what my niche is, I don't know what to write about, that tells me you have not, going to be a little harsh here, but you haven't really done anything in life that pushes you to give you something to write about, okay? You need to, do something in life out of the norm. All this process we talked about, finding a plan, idea, solving a problem for yourself in order to have something to write about. Should be something you're very interested in, because you're not going to have a problem putting out content on that thing because you're obsessed with it already, and then it just becomes second nature. So all you people that are like, what's my niche? What do I write about? I should write, but what do I write? The goal that you have done for yourself is the funnel for anything else in life, okay? This is going on a tangent, but Dan Coe talks about you can write whatever you want. Yes, and it's from the lens of the goal you have, right? I talk a lot about mindset here, but what I do is that if you want to work with me one-on-one, let me know in the comments, but I focus on strength training, right? But there's a lot more that goes into strength training than just you show up and you work out, especially when your time is limited and you're an adult parent, okay? So, it's like all those things that could be generic self-improvement are funneled into this vessel here. And that's where the writing comes from. All right. So that's the end of all the writing. You have a goal, you work on it, you figure stuff out, and then you're easily able to talk about it. So start writing today. Right now, even if you don't get to that point, the first few steps I talked about, because everyone has something they need to be grateful for, everyone has problems, everyone has goals. Just put it on a notes app on your phone and work on it and write it and look at it, and I guarantee you it can help you better than just having something floating in the back of your mind saying, hey, I should really do this thing. Put it in writing and actually go do it. So that's it. Man, that rant was a lot, but thanks for watching. Subscribe and all that. If you want to achieve your goals, you got to write them down. That's it. Bye.